Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So we had our first down day. There was not a lot of volatility. There was not a lot of speed. There wasn't a lot of fear. It kind of felt pretty forced. What does that mean? Does it mean that that's your pullback, or does it mean it's the start of something bigger? What does it mean? It really doesn't mean that much, except for something was a little different, not extremely different, because there were definitely some pockets of strength, as well as things that were weaker. So you could be mixed or a mixed bag with longs and shorts, depending on how you want to live. Ultimately, we came down pretty quickly. We went below one of the upper support levels that I've been talking about, but didn't really fall apart. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. You look at the chart of the spiders, and you'll see that we've had quite a move since this double bottom low, and ever since we held here the 8 and 21 day moving average on this pullback. We've been riding it ever since, where we got extended from the 8 day, pulled back. If you went out short thinking we were going to break it, you got engulfed. When again, if you went out short here, went up a little bit, no follow through. So here with one red day, do you think we could get a little bit more? To me, I'm not really sure, except for I am net short. I'm net short overnight, which I rarely am. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get a little bit of follow through. Actually, that wouldn't be follow through. Sorry. Even to here, you would think this is it's not a lot. This would be better, obviously. Anyway, one down day doesn't mean this trend that we've been in for almost 6 weeks is over. Doesn't mean that it could be a little pressured. I would love to see a pullback to the 8 and 21 day. So we'll see how that goes. Some on the weaker side, you had the Russell. The Russell actually did break the 8 day moving average. You had this trend right here that was broken to the upside by this little rest, and you had this big down day here. That's when guys said it was game over. Then we went through the 8 day and came back above it, okay, to here. Then looked as if it was going to close below it again and saved. And this time it's curling lower. So it does seem as if the Russell did run out of some gas. So this is probably a better short to be overnight. And then here's the 21 day. But you do have some support right here going forward. So maybe you see a red dog reversal or something tomorrow. We'll see what the futures look like. But overall, close on the dead lows. The good book says be a little shorted, or at least if you were playing for an additional move above here. Remember that little chart I showed you? It didn't happen. You get out of the way and you wait. The XLE also closed below the 8 day. Oil was down a lot. What a freaking huge inventory number. Does it mean it's game over here? Maybe not. But what you could see is ever since this breakout above this spot, it's been above the 8 day moving average, and now it's curling down, meaning you're losing momentum, and it closed on the lows below it. So, kind of test here, maybe. I'm actually a little short the XLE. One other, if you want to look at the steel stocks, it also had a big move. You look at FCX. FCX has been in a big trend. Not saying the trend is over, but what did it do? It broke the 8 day moving average. And what did Red Dog say? Above the 8 day moving average, you try and be in it. Below it, you look for a sell signal, you get out if you long it, or maybe even get short. There are guys who got shorted. X got upgraded and it reversed on that. So this to me is a bit of a Red Dog reversal. So I'm actually short X, right? Nice move from here above the 8 day moving average. Didn't break it yet. I'm kind of anticipating it, and I'll see what happens tomorrow. But a bit of a Red Dog reversal as it went through this prior pivot of 1579. Made a high and came off it and closed in the lows with some decent volume. So maybe that's a sign that it can come in a little bit more than it's already come in. All right, that's the weaker side. Oh, and besides, remember here on the recap I told you I went out short Tesla, and I'm not comfortable with doing that. Well, if you went out short it too, you made some money. Okay, it was the first down day that traded below a prior low, and now, boom, closing the dead lows. So does it mean this move is over? No, but it kind of broke this trend a little bit, and now for the first time it actually closed through the 8 day versus just touching it and coming off of it. So if you've been long it, you got out of the way. If you were short as of yesterday or waited and shorted more, because in my morning note I wrote if it gets below 232.56 you could add. If you did, you made yourself a lot of good, a lot of money on the short side. There you go. In the stronger camp, you had some tech names. Amazon, strong all day. I don't know if they turned on their buyback machine or what they did, but the last 2 sessions it's been really strong. So this is showing you that it's not game over here. Came in, gave you a red dog reversal right there on Monday, opened down on a downgrade, reversed up, and then today went from red to green and went up again. Still not like making higher highs or going nuts, but 3 days of strength. Maybe they turn back their buyback machine on these 3 days because they're leaving for vacation tomorrow for Good Friday. I don't know, but all in all, this was strong today. Google's having some trouble here, so I'd be a little careful. It keeps trying to break above this resistance area, and it's not having any traction. So just make sure if you're long this for short term that it stays above this 751. If you look at Facebook, gave you an additional move. I came in long this today. It's been hard. You can't really buy strength. If you did, you definitely didn't do well with it. I was torn. I was like trying to be short the spiders, and so I'm shorting the spiders, but then I'm buying highs in Facebook. And when spiders went, when Facebook would come in, I would short more spiders, and it would, whatever. It was just a tailspin for a little while. But anyway, this trend is still strong. It's trying. It's above the 8-day. Not much momentum to be found anywhere. So we'll see. Does that mean that momentum is leaving? So we shall see. So just be a bit careful. I'm not long Facebook overnight. Apple, I was long overnight too. Got out of it. It went green. This was very erratic during the day. It's still fine. It's still above your 8-day moving average, but not much momentum up here. So again, are we after a big move that we've seen, does it mean that strength is leaving? We shall see. It means that you can't buy high and sell higher at least. And we're back in the range where you have to buy when it looks bad and short it when it looks good, and that's a hard time for traders. Like I showed you before, oil. Been talking about the 8-day moving average, about the trend off the lows. Trend off this low is still intact, and it could still test that. This one from here, all these are still kind of intact. The only thing that the USO did is break the 8-day moving average, which if you were trading it for that and long it because it was above it, if you take a look like this, this was your first time below it. So respect your process. If you got out of it here on this reversal, maybe you got back in and it made new highs. This upper range now was somewhat broken, so you never know what's next. So for me, I've been preaching that above the 8-day moving average, stay long. Below it, get out. So maybe you got out here, and then maybe get short. A few other times I did this and it engulfed it and it was choppy, so we shall see. The metals, GLD. Yesterday, the metals could not go up, after the terrorist attack, so that gave some clues that it may be a short. Well, anyway, if you shorted yesterday, you got paid today. At this point, not sure what to do next here. There's an open gap, maybe tries to fill it before doing whatever. The 50-day now is here, so maybe it wants to see the 50-day. At this point, it's in no man's land, so it's not as pent up the way it was during this move. During this move, it had momentum. There wasn't much of a pullback. Here it took back the 8-day, rallied up, went through the 200-day, gave you some follow-through, held the gap, gave you another gap, held it, and now it's becoming a little bit more erratic, not erotic. Metals could be erotic, but erratic. And now there's a big, hole there. So we'll see what's next. Volume's been light. It's a short week. The terrorist, all over the news. That's all you've been hearing about what happened in Brussels. And again, our hearts go out to everyone involved there. And it's friggin' horrendous how, two cowards can go and blow themselves up and change the face of so many families and lives. But that's the world we live in. We got to stay vigilant. We got to help. We got to keep our eyes open, and just be safe. And the only way you be safe is by keeping your head high. And the only thing you can control in the market to be safe is your keyboard. If you've been shorting this market because you think it can't go higher, and you've been doing that for 100 handles, that's an opinion. If you're short today because something looks like it might have changed, maybe you try it, and then perhaps we get a little bit of a pullback that I think even the bulls want. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.